Hello and welcome to the show. Bev, thank
Hey,
you for
everybody.
coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me, Linda.
Of course. So I said last time you were on, we said we're going to call this one astronomical, astrological updates because there's a lot of big things happening, right?
Oh, yeah, a lot of big things happen. If nobody's been feeling it, I'd be very surprised because I know everybody's been feeling it.
It's interesting too when we talk about. I want to sidetrack for just a second before we get into the meat of it because there was um, this period of time where we're saying we're not going to talk about ascension symptoms anymore because we're upgrading that. We're trying to like up level all of this, and
Right.
it's funny because now it's like people are experiencing the ascension symptoms that had never felt them before, and they're
Yes.
questioning, is it my medication? Do I have a pinched nerve in my neck? Is it vertigo? The dizzy, because their Merkabahs are
Yes.
starting to spin too. And you can only tell people so much that it's energetic, because like if I turn my head too fast this way or that way, a doctor could diagnose vertigo. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that's what it is. Because if you see quantum or whatever, you can call it ascension symptoms, but when your energy starts spinning, you do kind of you start vortexing, you get a little dizzy, and it doesn't really go away. It's just something how you learn how to adjust with that. And it might not be as strong, but you learn how to live with
Right.
it.
Right. And remember how it was when you first started having those, Linda?
Yes.
I
Scary.
thought I was dying. I was like, why is
No.
all this stuff happening? And then I went and changed my diet. Some good things came from it. I cleaned up my act on how I ate and got rid of the sodas and all that, and did a whole
Yep.
lot of changes. But yeah, it was pretty scary
It
when you
was
weren't
scary.
just out of the blue.
I know. Angel, welcome. I'm so happy to see you, sis. How you doing out there on the West Coast? Are you getting the disease too? Because, sometimes you feel like it's just where you're located, where your geolocation is and where your division is. But, it's not just the dizziness. There's things like stiff neck, like, where your galactic cord attaches in the center back, up there. There's pain that's experienced that way, but like general fatigue, that's a big one. I mean, knocked me on my ass yesterday. I don't know about anybody else. I didn't even check the Schumann. I don't know what it did. Did you look at the Schumann, Bev?
We've had two white out just little strips in the last day and a half. So it was one today and it was one yesterday, and I felt that.
I wonder what kind of power it packed, because I feel like even if it's just one little strip on the thing, if it's a big power, it still has to be integrated. It depends what kind of
Yes.
plasmic light it's bringing in with it, right?
Yeah, I didn't look any more than that. I just saw that white streak and thought, okay, now at least I know why all of a sudden out of the blue I'm just exhausted and want a nap. It's been like that all week though.
Oh, yeah, it
Even when the
has.
Schumann was calm, so that's been confusing. Are they really showing what the Schumann is, or is the Schumann being changed to reflect just peace and calm? Because with CERN it may be
Uh-huh.
going crazy.
Right, or blackouts and all that. But hey, Amber,
Yes.
welcome to the live stream. So we are going to be talking about, well, Bev's going to give us some updates. We're going to be discussing some of these major astronomical, astrological events that are lining up, because it affects the world stage. It affects everybody. It's not just your personal astrology charts. Some are affected more than others. And especially if you're awakened and you're feeling all these energies coming in, you're just like, what's going on? Well, there's people that are waking up that are going through that what's going on. Remember when you first woke up, like you just said that to me. Remember what it felt like, because we have to have compassion for those that are just starting to go down those rabbit holes. And I think we need to teach and share what we know, so that we're not so far down the road that we're not reaching back to help people understand that, maybe it's not medical. You don't want to steer anybody away from a doctor if they need to see a doctor. In
Right.
fact, I was telling you earlier that I was considering to go see a doctor for something that I was feeling, because that's how bad it got. But it's not always something medically wrong when it's energetically uh, interrupting your life. I don't know what better way to put it.
That's a good way to put it, Linda. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that explains it pretty well.
All right. Angel's saying in the void here, ice storm looks crazy around me, but you're undecided. Okay. Love you too, Angel. Thank you for being here, and thanks for being my little blue wrench. Like the jelly to the peanut butter. We'll see if Scotty Boy comes on. You guys can like talk back and forth with your blue wrenches. I think it's funny when somebody's like, "What's that blue wrench mean?" It's like you're not on YouTube very much, are you?
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember seeing that and asking that question. But that's been a little while ago.
Let me ask you something. I want to ask about the volume because for playback, I want to make sure it's okay. So if I talk in here, are you hearing this microphone or are you hearing this microphone? Can you tell?
I
Which
think it's
one's
the smaller one.
I'll try it like this. See if you can hear me. And then I'll try it like this. See if you can hear me. You think it's the little one or the big one?
I think it's the little one. The little one's what you're coming in on.
All right, I got to be careful then because I always seem to hit. I've done playbacks on ones. I always seem to hit it.
When we did the live together here, Lynda, I kept bumping mine. I noticed too. So yeah, I'm not real good with those. So yeah, I just got the earbuds in and doing it with the phone. So I hope nobody heard the dogs barking earlier.
No, you know what? When you wear the earbuds, we can't really hear what's going on in the background. That's good for excellent for background and everything. But for me, I keep bumping it. That's why I usually wear these because there's no microphone on these. And then I use the big microphone and you don't hear them anyway. Big one is louder, Amber said. Okay.
Yeah, the big one was louder.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I wonder if is my volume okay if I just talk like this? Because I don't really want to be yelling. Sometimes I do get loud though. Just let me know in the comments.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to you, right? All right. Let me know, Amber and Angel, if you guys hear this okay, if I'm not too low. I want to make sure. I'm still working out audio and stuff. You just want to make sure you match everything well. So before we get into it again, I'm going to ask you to hold one more minute, Bev, because I wanted to give a shout out to all my patrons and people that have donated this month. I've really needed your help. Thank you so much for your support. And the patrons, I want to let you know, anyone that's got a backstage pass, I just literally, before we went live, I just finished uploading a very special activation transmission. And I did some really cool things with audio and echo and sound effects and stuff that I'm really proud of. And it's not super professional, but it's got crystal pictures and they fade in and out and it's like pretty cool. And what I want to do, since I was guided to share it with everybody, is my patrons for the backstage pass are going to get it first. And then after it's been there for a few days, then I'm going to release it on YouTube. So if you're not a patron and you want to be, go on over there. The link's in the description box. And for $2 a month, you can get advanced stuff like this and all of that. Amber's saying it sounds good either way. Good. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Bev, I'm going to ask you what's going on. What are we in for with these astrological alignments? I mean,
well, I know everybody's had been feeling it this week with that Capricorn full moon that we had on Wednesday, 2 days ago. That was pretty tough coming in. I know we had the moon in Capricorn, and it was sitting right on Pluto. So it was conjunct Pluto, and Pluto is within that degree orb of having where it's at when the USA's Pluto return. So we had that conjunct that full moon. And also, so the moon is ruled, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon was in its furthest place away in Capricorn. So that's why it was also considered a supermoon. There are several reasons for that. So it was pretty heavy energetics and pretty heavy things coming in. We're dealing with that Pluto return point again, and we're going to continue to deal with that. But that was part of the Capricorn full moon. So it brought it more to our attention, I think.
Remember when I was telling you I couldn't sleep and tossing and turning and things? It never crosses my mind that it could be the full moon. Like, duh, Lynda.
Right? And I didn't think to mention it, Lynda, because I just assumed that you knew. Yeah.
I don't always know why I can't sleep, but I know, when I don't dream for a little while, it might be like a week or two at a time. And it seems like, where are my why don't I remember? And then in comes the full moon and in comes the dreams, like every single night. It's crazy. And the last couple nights, there's been some pretty strange dreams. Let me know in the comments if you guys in the chat. Tell me if you guys are having strange dreams too, because they have been like saving babies and stuff like that, like just wild stuff. Babies in sewers and, just, I won't even get into it, but let's just say I'm the hero in my dream. Thank God, instead of the zero. So I get to do good stuff. And like sometimes you come back here and you go, oh, no, why am I back here again? Can't do the same work here that I do over there. It's crazy.
Yes.
All right. So Pluto return over the USA. I want to pause and ask you about that one a little bit. Can you just, for anybody who's just tuning in or who hasn't heard about this part of the astrology that wants to know, like, what is this and what's going on? Can you just give a little background about Pluto return for the USA?
Pluto is returning to the same spot it was based on the USA's chart, and that was on the Declaration of Independence. They set that chart. So when Pluto is back in that return spot, it goes over all the issues of the things in that. So it looks at all the systems being in Capricorn. It looks at how we interact with others, how we deal with things on a daily life. It just looks at all the institutions and things we have in place and says, hey, are these still working? If not, wait a minute, what can we do about that? So it's some pretty deep transformational energy. If we work with it for the positive and use the energy to help us, we can also be supported through that transformation. But not saying it's going to be easy at all. Don't let me ever underestimate Pluto. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Well, I know we've been talking about this since I think the very first one that we did with you was about the Pluto returning to the USA because it's such a big deal.
Yeah, the first time it was exact was like February 20th of this year, and we had it come back exact on Monday the 11th, and we'll have another final one December 28th. That'll be the third and final time that it hits that exact degree in that chart, and then it will move on. So it made one pass over it, went into retrograde, and did the pass over it, and it's going through its third time. Again, will be December 28th. Will be the third and final time it interacts with that 28-degree point in the chart.
So if you were just going to make a prediction based on astrology, would you say like the poo-poo is going to hit the fan by December? Like for revolutionary stuff?
For revolutionary, but I think maybe at the December point, we're going through that final, so a lot of the things will have already come out, and it'll just be looking at what the cleanup is going to be. Are you hearing the background noise here?
We can hear the doggy, but don't you worry about it. It's okay. And Amber was saying she's been on a dream break too, and I believe that Angel had said something too about dream. They're resting the suit, the physical suit. Yeah. Okay. Well, when they come back.
Excuse me 1 second.
Oh, you go right ahead. All right, I'm just going to get into some of these comments while Bev's away there. So I'm just going to scroll back just a little bit louder. All right, big one was louder. Welcome, DQs. And Angel's saying, love you, Derek. Now, I don't know if that's got DQs is not guiding D light. I don't think that's the same. I don't think that's Derek. Or maybe DQ is also Derek. DQ, let us know. Nice to see you here. And always saving kids in the dreams. Amber, good. Naval ships, bad babysitters, all kinds of craziness. Yeah, this one was so vivid because the baby was in a car seat in the sewer and like opened its eyes and then just closed its eyes like it was getting ready to die, and it barely moved. And I had to act. I mean, who wouldn't act?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. What else we got here too? D got through. There you are. Hey, Derek. Nice to see you. Also, Derek. Oh, we got two Dereks in here. Very cool. Welcome, welcome. So, all right. Back to it, Bev.
I apologize there for having to do that. I had to open the door. The dog was shut out, and she was not going to be quiet, so I let her back in the door. It was Cece.
Oh, Cece's adorable. You can never apologize for Cece. She's a sweetheart.
I guess she made her debut in our last video. I saw her over my shoulder making her bed at the end of the couch. Yeah, Diane was laughing about it and said, you better watch that. Cece made her debut tonight. So, again, I apologize for the distraction there. But, yeah, talking about that USA Pluto return, it's been a long time. I mean, we've gone through so many changes, but I see with the things coming in, and then with that Uranus conjunction, okay, so we're in the Pluto return energy again, the exact energy. We just had that Capricorn full moon that was conjunct Pluto, and now coming up on the 20th, we're going to have Uranus conjunct the North Node, which is all about destiny and what we came here to do, about going into the future and how we're going to get there. And that's going to be, that is July 20th.
Oh, so that's
Uranus
coming.
is, yeah, that's going to be
Yes.
conjunct the North Node, and then Mars is going to join that uh, on the 22nd, so 2 days later. So we already
Okay.
have the volatile energy with Uranus.
And that's the real big ones between Uranus and Mars joining. So between the 20th and the 22nd is expect some fireworks, right?
Yeah, you've got Uranus conjunct the North Node, and then Mars is going to join that conjunction. So it's going to be a stellium there in Taurus.
So it's going to be like a little bit of kind of like a war going on or something, right? Some kind of major shit going down.
Yes, major
Yeah.
shit going down. And being in Taurus, it's about our values, our belief systems, what we do with our energy, what it is that we really need to create or came here to create. And you're dealing with that North Node there, so it's all about destiny in the future. And Uranus is going to shake it up. Uranus kind of gets a bad rep like Mercury retrograde does, but Uranus is the awakener, the jolter, the electrifier. Uranus will put you on the path you need to be. Now, you may not agree with how Uranus does it. It can be abrupt, shocking, out of the blue, but it will put you on the right path. And later down the road, you may look at that whole experience different and know that it happened to put you where you needed to be. So that's what Uranus does.
And all of this too. So it's a micro and a macro, right? Because like Derek's saying here that it's been a week of it's been a week of relationships and how I interact. So now that's on a personal level, right? But
Yes.
also on the macro level, we're talking about different countries and how world leaders interact with each other and how systems of control are in place or being taken down or stripped down, or the corruptions. It's like almost like our relationship as a people, as a free people, our relationship with our leaders that maybe are not so honest, which we all know. So like as things build up, we're still in this pressure cooker. And you see what happened in New Delhi and how they were storming things. And it's like, people in America are, I want to say, gun shy a little bit about doing stuff like that because they still see political prisoners being tortured without trial in our own country for going inside the Capitol building, which we own. That's our building. That's not their building. We, the people, own the government. It's not the other way around. It's a republic, not a democracy. So like I'll argue with you all day on this, except no, I won't, because it's a waste of time. We know this. And so as things are coming to a pressure cooker, it's going to come to a boiling point and people are just going to say enough is enough. And this has got to end. And it's like, we're not going to be having ships coming out of the sky. Nobody's going to be saving us. We have to do this ourselves. So we have to get over the fear of being labeled like an extremist because we believe in the Constitution and our right to free speech or things like that. And if I get slammed on this one, these videos are saved in my other platform and they'll go up on my Rumble channel. So, if you don't see me on here for a little while and you wonder where I'm at, just go to my website or go to my Rumble channel and you'll see the videos that have been community stricken and all of that.
It's a shame it has to be that way. I hate that it does because I always love the good debate. I always love to hear somebody else's side of something. Everybody should be able to speak and say what they think. But that's part of the change that needs to happen. So let the Pluto return do its work.
Yes. And as a matter of fact, Derek was going to be coming on to do a tribe haul, I believe. And, I don't know if you know Derek or not, that the first one we did got taken down, but I also had a community strike, so I was suspended on YouTube for a little bit. So we're just getting back into the swing of things. And when that comes back, Angel and Derek, and I have a few other people in mind that I want to have come on. So, we'll do another tribe hall and speak our minds. We just have to be careful what we say because I don't want to lose my channel, but I do believe in free speech too. I think we should be able to speak our minds and have, intelligent discourse and debates, healthy debates. There's nothing wrong with that. No. If I believe something, if I want to say that I believe the sky is purple and, it rains honey when it rains, you're going to be like, have fun with that. You don't have to believe it because I believe it.
Right. Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that I should be taken down because it's not a fact, like you can believe and say what you want. That's the beautiful part. All right, good. Angel saying I'm in. Good. And this sums it up real quick. I love to be proven wrong, Angel says. Right? Isn't that wonderful when somebody can teach you something? Somebody can
Yes.
show you the error of your ways, or but gently, not like narcissistic know-it-all type of way. Not like that. Be gentle with people. No, I told you so's.
And that's
No,
kind of
I
what we need. That's kind of what we need right now too, because we're going to have to step into our authentic selves, and we're going to have to learn how to do it responsibly with that North Node. Go
yeah,
into it and have the compassion and talk to
yeah,
the other person, hear their side, do it kindly, do it from a place of love with the best intention for either person involved when you have those tough conversations. I think that's
yeah,
really important right now.
yeah. I agree. Amber's saying it's what we allow. Yeah. And you got to learn every day, right? Everybody, you guys are making great comments. See, we're having an awesome discussion here. This is what needs to happen.
Yes.
So, all right. All right. I know I get a little sidetracked.
No,
I'm like the person that goes squirrel, you know.
I'm the same way, Lynda. Tonight I didn't make as many notes or whatever, and I'm kind of winging it too. So I'm enjoying the comments and everything. But as far as who was saying something about in the relationships? Well, that's a big thing this week too, because where it's at in Capricorn, it's the relationships, and it's relationships with everything. So not even only personal relationships, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your belief systems. I mean, it's all that stuff is coming under the microscope with that Capricorn full moon conjunct Pluto. So it's really doing some deep diving. And with the sun being over in Cancer, Cancer is the heart and the emotion, and it's our personal side and what we keep inside. And what we're trying to do with that is take the energy from the Cancer area and take it responsibly and say, okay, this is what we need to do now. How can we do this? And let's work together. So it's
Yeah.
also coming down to that, I see, from what I'm looking at too.
Yeah. It's interesting when you're high rising everything, you're trying to flip things. When they want you down and beaten down, think of how you feel when you're tired. It's okay when you're tired, you can still make a choice to be in a good mood, right? You and I, we're both exhausted, we're tired, but we're choosing to be in a good mood. And here we are, and we together are raising our vibration, right? Well, I think when they try to knock you down, it's because they know that we know when we get together and raise our vibration together, you
Yes.
can't stop. You can't stop the truth. You can't stop us. You can't stop the light coming in. You can't stop it. So they want us beaten down and worn down. They attack us in our dreams. It's a whole nother world over there. There's all kinds of rescue missions and things that are going on. It's like your body gets to sleep and you get to go in other dimensional. You get to go in different places. So they do try to knock you down. They see you starting to do well. And I don't say it's not like, oh, they see, I'm not paranoid that way, but in the sense that your light starts shining really bright, think about what a light does. It attracts a lot of bugs, doesn't it?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it does. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I see happening to a lot of people. I mean, I hear a lot of people just talking about feeling, just wore out from out of nowhere. And just, it's like we're fighting to integrate all these downloads and the energy changes and all that. And then in addition, since we've raised our vibration, we're fighting it from the other way too, with those moths coming, for the flames. So yeah, I think we're getting it kind of double right now. At least it's felt that way a lot recently in the last few weeks.
Even the trees, Derek's saying, everything at relationships. Keep getting
Yes.
moths in my dreams too. Yeah, D, he's also talking about the dream world it's like they're trying to trick you. Yeah, they absolutely do that. Because when you wake up and you're just like, oh darn, I'm here again, because we're still getting through the muck and the schmuck and the crap.
Yes.
It's like if you wake up with a belief about something that's false because that was implanted or impressed upon, overlaid before you wake up, you bring that into this awareness, like they're stealing and hijacking our co-creative abilities, because it's almost like we have been tricked into giving away that co-creative ability. So how far does that go? I want to go down that rabbit hole a little bit to see how far of our co-creative abilities have they stolen? How much of this have we created? And I don't mean me chose to sit and create something negative, but through religious indoctrinations and things like that. How much of this as far as negative beings and entities and vampires and hell and all this other stuff? How much of this have we actually created as a collective based on fear by being tricked and, swindled and all that other good stuff from, you know what I'm saying? How
Yeah,
far does it
it
go?
comes in many ways. It's a lot of, I think a lot of it's coming through though too, Lynda, with the belief systems really being looked at. There's so much that just can't be anymore. But I see what you're saying. Sorry, I got off on a little different train of thought there for a second, but
No, that's
yeah,
okay. Angel's saying that Spirit took her offline this week for a reason. Did you mean you actually had no connection going on at all? Yeah, it's been a rough week. I have to say, me too, as far as being offline. Unless I worked at it. It was a challenge to work for my connection, and I fought for every bit of my connection this week, and I did get periods of some healthy downloads. Um, some of it being with the elements. I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of that now because that's elements are important. But we say that metal and wood is also an element too. Well, I kind of lump that in with the earth. So if we just look at the four directions and the four elements as far as air, fire, water, and earth, if you just look at those four right there, there's a lot that has to do with us balancing those. And I'm going to be doing a course. I got a download about this for a course, teaching how, how each sign is a sign, like Taurus is an earth sign, right? So if you have something that, if you have, like, everything goes in a circle with the elements and each one of those signs. So if you know somebody who's an earth sign, maybe the earth will not be good, not be a good mix with, say, a fire sign, because fire burns the earth. And then, but that's the negative part of it, right? But there's also a positive thing after that happens if you go back around the circle twice, because each element has an effect on the other element. And let's say the negative way, well, then when you uprise it, what happens after the earth has been burned by fire is new growth, right?
right.
So every single thing. So if you look at like air and water and what they do, and like what does water do with fire? It puts it out, it smothers it, or earth might smother a fire because you put dirt on a fire and it smothers it. But then the fire can then be reborn in a whole new way, maybe in another location. I don't know. But like each thing feeds it's on a negative and then a positive.
Yes.
So learning how to balance both, within ourselves, both the night and the light, which we have to do. And then realizing all you have to do is look at somebody in your life who is that you might be struggling with and figure out what sign they are, and then look at what that sign does for you, and it'll help you navigate that personal relationship maybe a little bit better. So yeah, there's going to be a whole course coming out on that one. And yeah, just wanted to share that. We're all connected.
That, Lynda. We're all connected, and it's all about polarities and the balance, and that's a lot of what we're really going to have to work on here. Probably, I'd say at least through the end of August, is that balance. Because when Uranus comes through, I don't know, people can probably already feel it ramping up, because we're just, let's see, what was the date on that again? We're just a couple of days from that happening. On the 20th, it's exact on the 20th. Okay. We're having the exact conjunction again, and then Mars is joining it 2 days after that. So we've got that energy coming in, and I think that's what we're feeling. Because like you, I've had to fight to do anything this week, and it's like, it's things I love and I'm passionate about. My astrology, I never had to make myself sit down, but I had to, and I thought, what? I'm thinking, am I getting depressed? I need to, I'm going through this whole thing, and I'm thinking, is there something wrong with me? Because this has been going on for about a week or so now.
Yeah,
so I'm glad to know it's not just me.
Well, it's not just you too. Amber said Spirit took her offline this week. Amber says me too. Derek was talking about the relationship things, and he's saying too much to describe. We created the destroyers of worlds by programs. We became death. Yes, we did. And we've been reversing it. Yes, we have. Nice codes. But I want to put this one up here. 7/20/2022, 7/22/2022.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Look at those codes.
Didn't even catch it. Thank you, because I didn't even catch the dates. Oh man, I've had so many numbers. It's funny.
Numbers all week.
The other day, now usually I'll see one or two maybe, I looked at the clock. It was 11:11 the first time. Then it was
Yeah.
1:11. Then it was 2:22. Then it was 3:33. And I'm shaking my head going, why am I looking at the clock? I never do that, but I was just being drawn. That was a one day this week too. I think it was like Tuesday. Yeah, just crazy with the numbers. So thank you for pointing that out because I hadn't even caught it.
Yeah, good one, Angel. And then today, Mom and I went food shopping, and it was the total is same full cart. We always get one cart full of groceries when we do a big run, and it was 369. And I'm like, I said, oh, which 369, and I was like, well, that's the most we've ever paid, number one. But I was like, oh, Tesla codes,
Tesla,
369.
yeah,
And
yes,
the cashier was like, oh, like she knew what it was. And she's like, oh, anything with multiples of three. And I said, yeah, but Tesla codes 369. She's like, yeah, she knew what I was talking about. And like,
that is so
nobody
cool.
knows what I'm talking about out in public if I say something like that. And she's like, I've been paying attention to numbers lately. And my mom jumps in and she goes, oh, she's really into the numerology and all of that. And I was like, ooh, numerology. Like, for my mom to say that, it's like people are becoming more and more awake and aware, and they're finding their own little, they're learning. People are learning. It's
Yes,
exciting.
people are searching for answers because everything is in such a turmoil. We got to find some sanity. So, that's opened so many doors, just like with people being locked in during the pandemic. Look at how much
Uh,
more people had to sit in their own energy and decide what to do with it. They're looking
mhm.
at it for the first time ever. And now we're kind of putting a time out, if you think about it, to sit with ourselves and find and seek out these answers and those things. And so when you hear people talking about that, at the stores or running it, that is so cool. So many people, and astrology seems to be becoming something that people are talking a lot more about, because you used to, oh my gosh, you mention it and people were like, oh, that's a cult. It's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah, they're
no.
talking about astrology. They're talking about their horoscopes, right? That's what you
Yes,
used to get.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. And
So that's changed a
that's
lot.
why the elite have personal astrologers and all that too, because yeah, it doesn't mean anything, right? Uh-huh.
Right, right. Yeah, you can use it for either. And I listened to that special that Laura Walker did on the Oracle report on the Sabian symbols. That was really interesting, and I see a couple more rabbit holes I want to dive in. But yeah, all the symbols, I mean, they were written, and you can take them and they can be used for good or bad, like anything else. You have the polarities, and that's what it all comes down to. In the end, it's all about the polarities.
It is. And anything that you can be grateful and thankful for. I saw in here, let me see. Amber's saying she's thanking the trees and the bugs. Yeah. You know, we are connected to everything, absolutely everything. And, people that are still in their separation, they're still in that we have to be compassionate for them and just gently guide them as much as we can, as much as we want to walk away from them and say, figure that one out, or I spent years figuring that out. You laughed at me and now you're on your own. We don't want to do that. I mean,
No,
we absolutely could. That's not the moral high ground though. That's not compassion. That's not growth. It's almost like here's how I'm seeing it. And I did this maybe a month ago. I think I did something it might be on my YouTube channel. Or no, Sacred Warrior Space. It was the last episode I did, episode 15. And it was the time of the personal throne is done. Because if you're offered a chance to sit on your throne and reclaim your throne, and you're given an offer, how do you know who's giving that offer? Oh yeah, well I'm in a meditative state. I'm connected with the divine. I'm outside of nature. How do I know I'm not being tricked? Right? I'm not seeing anything with my physical. I'm not touching anything physically. I'm having my quantum experience. How do I know I'm not being hoodwinked? And you're offering me a personal throne? No. You know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off on that because the time of the personal throne is done. It's not service for self anymore. This is for everybody.
yes,
So when we all get that solar flash and we can all claim our throne and our powers, therefore we go. So if we're learning these things ourselves and we're developing, we're getting little carrots and little nuggets and little things along the way, that's wonderful. We're repiecing our memories. We're putting that together, but we're sharing them with people and helping people to get that. What good would it be if I were to put together a whole shit ton of courses and make a ton of money and raise myself up on some personal throne to be some guru? What kind of good would that be for people that don't even know how to meditate yet? Like, are we not here? Where we go one, we go all. Isn't that what this mission
Yes.
is all about? So like, that's where I stand on. Sorry, little sidetrack there, but
No, no, I'm glad you're saying all this, because that's a thing right now too. Because there have been a lot of us, and this goes back across multiple lifetimes, not just necessarily this lifetime,
right.
of times that we couldn't stand up and say what we thought or whatever because we were burned at the stake,
Yes,
things like
correct.
that. So now, maybe we're sometimes more cautious than we need to be, and I think with the downloads coming in and with more people waking up, we're starting to see where it's a little safer to talk about some of this stuff, and we don't feel like we're, hiding something or we can't be who we are. And that's, as I watch those things happen around me, that gives me hope to keep doing what I'm doing.
Amber was talking about seeing a girl at the pool as well, talking about meditation and higher selves, being excited about that. And yeah, like, what you were just saying, Bev, it comes down to also the lower chakras, the upper chakras, the activation in the upper chakras, but it starts with the throat. Like, well, all right, everything's centered in the heart, but we could go through all this. Almost every video I talk about this at some point, but the throat chakra is becoming extremely important and activated with people on a collective level. So like, as we're
Yes.
all raising it up, here's the thing. When our lower chakras hold the emotions and our upper chakras are more activations for higher realms, when you activate the throat chakra, if you're doing this before the collective work, we know what this is. It's communication with the inner self, the higher self, or your soul, or whatever you're going to communication. But it's also physically speaking out into this world what your truth is. And people that aren't ready to do that yet because they haven't released all of the lower chakra stuff, think of what this balances with. The throat chakra balances with your solar plexus. That's your power. A
Yes.
lot of people, almost every session that I do, not every session, but a lot of the ones that I do when people are underactive here or overactive here, they're underactive down in their solar plexus. So it's one or the other. If you're underactive, I'm sorry, if you're overactive here, you may speak a lot and you may not listen well, or you may notice people that are like that, talk, and they talk about shit going on in the world. They're not talking about real stuff that's personal, meaningful. They're not sharing value. They're just gossiping or whatever. That's overactive throat chakra is a great sign of that one. It also means that their solar plexus is probably thick, muddy, stuck, not spinning right, maybe very tiny. When I say thick, it's thick and, maybe there's cords attached to it. So they're not in balance. And so when the
Right.
collective energy is coming up, we're getting collective activations for throat, third eye, crown. All the upper chakras are getting collective activations for this now. There's people that aren't ready for it. So you're going to see the opposite, or the hyperactive, because they're getting the activations. Boom, they're on and they're hyperactive because the other one's still holding stuff down and is slower. So we
Yes.
have to balance ourselves. And when we do that, always intend to send it out through the grid work, because each chakra is connected to the grids. Always intend to send it out to everybody. It's just my 2 cents.
And why you said that, Lynda, something just jumped out at me. And Uranus is known as the cosmic mind. Uranus is conjunct the north node of destiny. So it's opening up. We're having energies come through that have never been on this planet before. We're having things come in and opportunities that we could have never done in another lifetime. That's why it's so great to be here. Did I just actually say that? This week I have not felt that way yet. I surprise myself sometimes. Yeah, I did.
It's recorded now. You just said it.
Can't deny it, can I? But yeah, I mean, that's why we came here to do it. When you're going through the everyday stuff, it's hard to keep that, and especially right now. So again, be kind to yourself and keep balance and try to stay grounded. Managing your energy on a daily basis is going to be really important from now through the middle of August. Very, very important with all these big aspects we got coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we talk about the conversation, and the astrology plays into this because it paints the picture. That's why I love when you're talking and this stuff just comes together.
It does. And it's neat how it's like a blueprint for things, because then you can expect it. Like, I wish we had done some of the astrology last week so we could have prepared for this week, because this week has been killer. Like, not complaining, but like, let's just be honest here. Like we were saying earlier, the tired, the pain, the backs, the dreams, the aches and the everything going on. Is it medical? Yeah, it could be. There could be physical problems. Absolutely. But when you have a whole group of people and they're talking and they're all going through similar experiences, it's probably energetic. It's probably more energetic. Just saying.
Yeah,
But
just to let them know, because it's a wonder I'm not radioactive, because when I first started getting all this stuff back in 2016 and
yeah,
27, I was going to the doctor getting all these tests done, and I had so many MRIs,
yep.
CATs. I mean, just it's a wonder I'm not glowing, But I was scared because I never felt like this before, and it was everything from head to toe. I mean, it was just my whole body revolting, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" So yeah, it can be really frightening. So
I
if nothing else, if this helps somebody know they're not going crazy with the physical stuff, then hey, I'm glad we're here.
I wonder maybe we should do Derek and Angel, if you guys are still listening too, maybe when we do the next tribe hall or something, maybe we should talk about ascension symptoms again, because it seems like it's coming back around, it's circling back around, and we haven't had the solar flash yet. And if you guys, I don't know if you follow like the QMAP pub or any of that stuff, or do you ever see that picture where they have all those interactive like topics? Every conspiracy theory you can ever possibly imagine is on this
Yes.
map.
Yes.
And in the middle of it is a grand solar flash. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Haven't seen it. I'd love to share that, Lynda, or have you share that with me?
Yeah, well, you know what? Keep talking here, because I'm going to look that up right now and see if I can pull that
Wow.
up, because you are going to be blown away if I can screen share that and show you. I thought I had it saved. Let's see.
You
And
were
if
talking
anybody,
about this astrology for the week. You know
yeah,
what? I can't look
what was
more than
this week?
about a week ahead.
Well, I can't schedule or plan anything more than a week ahead. It seems like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I'm actually searching in my saved websites here. So if I could pull that up, I'm going to show you guys.
Yeah, because I never ran across that. I found some odd place that put me into a lot of ascension symptoms way back, and I couldn't even remember where I went for that. But I was shocked when I found the information, because that was a
They
long
took the
time ago.
site down. The site is down.
Oh no!
401, 404. It says nothing to see here. What?
Oh my gosh! Yep.
Hold on.
Well, that
Maybe,
tells you
maybe,
that they're still happening.
wait a minute. Maybe they moved it. That was the place I used to have. Sorry, guys. I was going to buy one of those too, because they were so cool. Pleiadians, so on and so forth. Huh. That's so weird. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I'm going to keep looking though, because I still have more favorites in here. All right, what else we got? Oh, what I was going to ask you, was there anything other than the full moon this week? Was there any other major thing going on this week that would account for some of the weird crap that's going on?
Yeah,
Weird energy.
just a lot of the aspects. Honestly, Lynda, I just looked at this week and I don't remember last week. That's how taxing this week has been.
I couldn't expect you to. I don't know why I threw that out to you, because I'd be amazed if you did.
All honesty, no. But another thing I do want to mention is also on the 19th, we have Chiron stationing retrograde in Aries. Chiron is about healing. Chiron he was a teacher. He was an astronomer. He was a mathematician. He did everything, but he also represents the wound. So we're looking at health things. Mm-hmm. With him going in retrograde, maybe some health issues and things coming out. And then also too, Chiron also rules suicide. So
when did that start?
That starts on the 19th. It goes retrograde.
And
I'm just putting that out there in case people have a problem or feeling depression or anything, because it's easy to feel during these times right now. And with Chiron going retrograde, we really need to stay grounded and balanced and try to stay in the best mental state that we can, even if it means walking away for a little bit.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I know I do, along with I know other people that suffer with chronic depression, or I don't know any other way to put it, suicide issues at times. We know we'd never do anything, but those demons have come around. I think the last time mine came around, I think I finally, handled that in a way that I've never handled it before on an astral plane. And I had a lot of confirmation that it was done, it was taken care of. So I don't think I'm going back there to that kind of thing. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because yeah, if anybody does suffer with depression or anything like that, just be aware of it and maybe make some plans to be maybe not necessarily alone on those days, or just have a friend that you can reach out and talk to, or
And
what
be
do you
kind,
like?
just be kind to yourself, take that self-care time, do what you need to do. Um, and try to just stay as grounded as you can. But yeah, it's that me time and that processing time and all that is good too, but don't isolate too, which I'm guilty of doing myself. It's easy for me to just stay in the cave and not go out for weeks at a time because I have
Stay
a
in the
problem
cave
with it
mode.
myself. Yeah.
Yep. I know it is easy to do that. Well, I'm glad you pushed yourself this week for this, because I know people were looking forward to getting this information, and considering we just passed the full moon, we got the north nodes that you're talking about with Uranus. Sorry, Uranus.
Uranus. It took me
You're
a long
on
time.
us. You're on us. Um, so we God, I'm squirrel.
That's okay. I'm looking at my notes and I'm squirreling too. So
I was just gonna say the north node. Can you talk about the north and the south node again a little bit, just in case anybody's new or needs to hear it, or watching
sure.
on a replay if they don't really know what that means on your personal chart, and then that's going to be on a macro level too, not just the micro, but on a
Right.
personal
And your
level. That's
personal,
huge.
yeah, in your personal chart, you'll have your own personal one. And then as far as a collective, it just goes into the houses, out in the solar system, and it hits us on a collective level like that. But the North Node is about what we came here to do. It's about finding the higher path, spiraling upward, growing our consciousness. What do we come here to master? What do we come here to lessons for? And then you look at your South Node, which is exactly the opposite point in your chart. And the South Node is the information that you came in with. And that could be just what you came in to learn, the soul contracts you came in with that you don't want to repeat, just those things that you're to take that knowledge forward and grow it into that North Node, which is following your destiny. So it's all about transforming the energy from that South Node up into the North Node to work on the mastery that's in your chart.
And that's huge, because that's something that when you come in here, like if you think about it, that's like life mission stuff. That's like,
It is. It
what did you
is.
come here to do in this life? That's your North Node, right? You taught me that.
Right. And that's what it's telling us now. So on a collective level, it's being conjunct with Uranus, and it's in Taurus. So Taurus is all about our tangible things, what we value, what has meaning to us. And the North Node is there saying, okay, so now what have you learned? Pluto, which we're looking at, okay, that's made that circle around for the US. What can we do as a collective to raise these energies and fix the things that need to be fixed? And being that Uranus is there, it's all about the cosmic knowledge to help us do so. That speaks volumes about the downloads and the energies and all the other stuff that's going on right now.
That is huge. That is huge.
So it's
So
a good time, but it's going to be, we're going to have things just change out of nowhere. Stuff is going to
quickly.
surprise people, jolt people. It's, yeah.
Okay, Amber's saying your North Node is your sun sign, right? No, right?
No, the North Node is a point in your chart that's calculated. It's calculated just like any of the other planets or an asteroid. The sun sign is your personality and what you came in with, but then you have the North and South Node in your chart too, which is separate. And there's multiple combinations you could have.
Yeah. And Bev takes care. Bev does chart readings and everything too. So you can send her an email, right? She can send you an email
Yeah.
and ask questions about. And if she just wanted like a quick chart reading or just the node reading or something, you can make customized.
We can work something out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can work something out.
So Amber, send Bev a thing if you've never had that or not really sure about that. Send her an email. The link should already be in the description, I think. Yeah, I already got them in the description. So
great, because I can send her some information too if she wants to take a little dive for herself. I mean, that's how I've learned too, and I love to share things. If somebody wants to learn, hey, I'll send you where you need to go, and you want to dig deeper with me, then I'm here for that too.
Perfect. And speaking of sharing things, Derek's having a group healing tonight inside at Mount Kailash. Kailash. Is that the name of
Where's that at?
I know well, I Derek's probably doing the personal um he's probably doing a tribe healing or group healing or something like that. D, if you want to leave in the comments or in the chat, you can put it in the chat, but if you want to post something in the comments and I'll pin it if you want to post the link with the time or how they can get into that if they want to
Yeah,
do that. Feel free. Go right ahead. That's
that would
sharing
be
is
great.
caring. Yeah.
Yes,
And I know
thank you.
D usually gets started late on that. I know you guys sometimes I know this is how he used to do like marathons. Sometimes it would start at like 11 at night and go to like 3 in the morning because like different groups would come in at 12 or 1 or 2 and people would come in and out like he used to do an open house style. So I'm not really sure if that's how you're doing that tonight, but if you're going to do like just an hour or 2 or whatever you're doing, just post it and let us know and
You
we'll
know,
share.
he always makes me smile because guiding D-Light, my mom's one of the names she used on her channels was D-Light. So the first time that you had him on your channel, it was a synchronicity for me. So hey D, I just had to share that with you, and I appreciate your work.
Oh, that's awesome. And you guys are in the same state. You're both in Ohio. So I know at some point we're all going to meet up at some point. We know this.
Yes,
We're all going to be able
looking
to,
forward to it for
vibe
sure.
with the tribe and whatnot. And I mean, I was fortunate to be able to get to meet a lot of people across the country last year. And, I look forward to meeting even more. And this year, Bev, I got to meet you this year, you and Di. And
We had a great time. I loved it.
yeah, and I really thought I didn't think I was done when I was done when I came back here quickly, because family emergency, somebody was septic
Yeah.
and I thought they were dying. My sister, she's fine now. Um, and then just when you start to see where you're needed and where you need to be and all of that, I really didn't think I was done. I was just kind of wondering like, what do I want to be when I grow up? That just kidding. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's fun for a little while and then you want to just put roots down somewhere but also like I still have places to see and people to meet, so I'm not done yet. I am definitely not done, but I see more like solstices and equinoxes and traveling for things like that, like the powwow and the equinox this year near you.
Yes.
I know there's one in the
Yes.
summer, or they already had the summer one probably, but too hot. Maybe in the fall, maybe in September. That's
Yes.
I think I'm gonna do that. I really do.
I hope so.
So
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'd love to just, it's nice to meet in person, to just talk. It was like meeting an old friend, honestly.
yeah. Yeah, and we meet online. It really helps, you know each other kind of online. We talk, you connect, we see each other in person. You're like, oh, you're a real girl, you're a real boy. Like
Yes.
I remember the first time when I met Sarah when in Kansas. I had no idea her height, and this is what blew me away. The trip is meeting people and not knowing if they're short or tall or anywhere in between. Like, you never know someone's height till you meet them because sometimes on
Yes.
camera they look bigger than they are or shorter than they are, whatever. And it's like never judge a book by its cover because, you know, the lighting might be right and you look nice, and then in person you might not look as nice or something. So like never judge a book by its cover. It's all about the energy that you give. You guys know I'm preaching to the choir
Yes.
here.
Yes. But it's cool when you have that connection. Somebody just from being online, that you have that tribe connection.
Yeah. Vibing with the tribe. That's right. Well, let's see. Have we got any more things? Anything else, anything else in your notes or anything else you wanted to bring up about astrology?
Not really. Just again, just know that we've got that energy building up, and it's going to stay uh, until where I have that written down, till August 15th. We're going to have some pretty heavy energies with that North Node
So be ready.
conjunction and then Mars joining it. So that just be kind to yourself, take care of yourself mentally, physically,
Yeah.
spiritually, ground, and do what you need to do. That's really my main takeaway from this.
That's a lot of things. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to us about all this too, because I know it's been a challenging week. Even Amber was saying some things weren't helping her this week that normally do, and thanks for the heads up on that, I guess. So it's really I'm glad you brought that up with Chiron. That's a really important note, I think. So you look at all these different things, but that might be the most important takeaway too, is be ready for this, because there could be some sudden changes. It might not be sudden enough. We might all be like, come on, just get it over with already. Like, we're
Yes.
tired, like, let's go. And it might not be the kind of change that you want to see per se, but it might be just enough of that cog in the wheel to turn like the next cog,
Yes.
So the dominoes fall and we're getting there one step at a time. Let's just keep supporting each other. Let's keep lifting each other up. And when you need time to rest, take time to rest, but not too much time, because, we don't want to, like you said, isolate too much or sink in your own, you don't want to stay in the cave all week.
Hey, I'm good at that too. I am. I'm really good at that. So I really have to, kind of police myself per se on that, because I can disappear for days in my room.
Yes, I can do the same thing. And especially when it's really hot and you don't feel like going outside. And I'm sorry, I'll be on like, ooh, I apologize. It's hitting me. I'm so tired. I've been sleeping so crappy this week. It's nuts.
Me too.
Everybody, like Derek's saying, take care of your own poo-poo. You don't want to be on the poop, as Angel likes to say, the poop loop. Angel, I use that all the time. And I try to give you credit as much as possible. Not every time I say it, but I do try to credit you with this one, because it's from Angel. Poop loop.
Yes.
We don't want to be on the poop loop. So
I love that phrase.
Yeah. So take care of your own stuff as much as you can. Give yourself a break. Remember when we talked about forgiveness and gratitude and things like that? These are like the main themes, it seems to be. Let's not forget that the forgiveness of self, like giving yourself a break. If you're forgiving yourself, you're letting yourself off the hook. We got to like pat ourselves on the back a little, not ego based, but we got to give ourselves that little boost that we need to say, hey, it's okay. Remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and keep showing up, because we're not going to get, if you want to take a trip somewhere, you have to actually physically go and take the trip. Right? You have to take action. So there's always an action that you can take, even if you're isolating, even if you're, playing it safe, because maybe the world out there is crazy and you need to isolate a little bit. It's okay. The action that you're taking could be, all right, I really need to binge watch something and just totally shut off because there's too much going on. Say you're in that state. Well, maybe make a deal with yourself. Talk to your higher self. Say, okay, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to meditate for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to binge watch something, like give yourself a little bit of something, and then a little bit of something else, a little something.
Yeah. And kind of make a deal with yourself. It's funny, Lynda, because I wrote a little page and a half to my higher self the other day, and I just won't even say how that went. But yeah, I was not too happy with her at the moment. Yeah. So I'm laughing because you're talking about the dreams and stuff, and I've been doing work in my dreams, but all I can remember is like being given instructions, and I'm always arguing with somebody. So I guess that's where that came from this week. Yeah. I just had to write a little thing and say, hey, do you think you're funny? Yes.
Angel's funny. Wipe twice.
Yep.
No more poop loops. Well, it's our choice if we want to keep that going in circles and circles or not, but all right, so I think we're going to wrap this up. Does anybody else have any questions? If you do, drop them real fast, because I think we're going to be ending things. Bev, I'm going to go back to you for any final words or any final thoughts or points or tips or anything you want to share.
Again, just realize that we're doing this on this level, but we're also doing a lot of this across multiple timelines and multiple lifetimes. And we're also clearing out a whole lot of soul contracts, because when we take that North Node energy forward, those energies can't go along with us. So there's going to be some pain and some separation and grief that may be included there, but know that it's for the best and highest good, and do it from your authentic self and your heart.
I love it. I love it. No truer words could be spoken. And I'm just going to add, just be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, because that's all I got, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Peace out. Be the light, be the change. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Lynda. Thanks for tuning in. If you resonate with this video, or if you receive some benefit from it, would you please consider sharing it? Thanks for your support.